Hi everybody, my name is Amy and I am a voice teacher here at the Long Island Studio of Music. In addition to being a teacher, another hat that I wear here at LASM is that I edit a lot of our videos. So today I just wanted to talk about recording yourself and just some tips for how you can do that better with what you have at home. There are times when you need and definitely should have professional videos, but there are also times where you don't really need them. So before we get started, I just want to say that this is just a crash course. This is just kind of an overview. I could go on for a long time about any of the topics that I'm about to cover in this video. So if you have any follow-up questions, any specific conundrums, please leave it down in the comments below. So first tip, or this isn't really a tip, but first thing, you do not need a super fancy setup that costs thousands of dollars and has wires running everywhere. Does having a camera and having a microphone help? Absolutely it does. And if you have those things, by all means, use them. But you can still do quite a lot with just a phone or a tablet. So moving on to the first actual tip, and this is my biggest tip. If you take nothing away from this video, please listen to this point. Please, please, please do not film your videos vertically. A lot of times when people are recording on their phone, they record this way instead of this way. To be kind of blunt for a second, vertical videos just look bad. And on top of that, if you were to submit a vertical video, be it to a competition or like for a self-tape audition or a pre-screen, it really looks unprofessional, so just don't do it. My next tip is film using the back camera. On pretty much every mobile device that there is out there, the camera that's on the back of the device, it's almost always better quality than the one on the front, the selfie camera. I totally get that you might be tempted to use the front-facing camera, and it kind of makes sense, because if you're using the front-facing camera, you can see if you're in frame, you can see yourself, you can kind of get an idea of the shot. But again, the front-facing camera is lower quality, so it's gonna be a lower quality video. But a good thing to do if you're filming using the back camera, or if you're just using a regular old camera, is to take a test shot. So to do that, super simple. You put your device down, you set it to record, and then you step back kind of about where you would be standing to record yourself. Stand there for like a second or two, and then go back and stop recording, and then look at that shot. And from that test shot, you can tell a lot of things. Is my lighting good? Am I in the frame? Do I need to move my camera, or do I need to move where I'm standing? Am I too far away? Am I too close up? Etc. And so then from there, if you look at your test shot and you realize, oh, you know, I kind of don't like that, well then you would make your necessary adjustments, take another test shot to make sure it's what you want, and then once you get a test shot where it looks the way that you want it to look, then you're going to start recording. So our next tip is about lighting. Good lighting makes a world of difference. And one of the easiest things that you can do to get good lighting when you're recording at home is go and stand in front of a window. Natural lighting is great, so if you can use it at home, absolutely do. But if there's not a window in a convenient place in your home, there are some things you can still do to improve the lighting. Even just moving a lamp that's in the room closer to you can do some good. A cheap solution that I would recommend is getting one of these guys. This is a clip-on ring light. It is meant for phones, so you just clip it over the top, you click it on, and then you're ready to go. You can get these things on Amazon. They also sell them at places like Five Below and the dollar store, and it's a really good cheap solution. And last but certainly not least, avoid being backlit. So right now, the way that I'm filming, the window is in front of me. The light is going onto my face. But now if I turn around and the light source is behind me, as you can probably see, I am pretty dark while my background is really bright. So no matter what kind of lighting you have, be it a window or a lamp or whatever, a little clip-on light, make sure that the light is coming from in front of you, not from behind you. So now that we've covered lighting, let's move on to audio. First and foremost, make sure that you are in a quiet place, or kind of like the quietest place that you can be in your home. I know that for some people like myself who live in Queens and other parts of New York City, that's kind of hard. But you know, like shut the door, shut the window, put your phone on silent, just kind of limit the extra noise. In terms of audio for recording on mobile devices, I have two main tips. The first one is make sure you're not blocking the microphone. A quick Google search can tell you where the microphone, or sometimes microphones, plural, are located on your device. Some phones, like iPhones like I have, actually have two microphones on them. One of them that is meant for like when you're placing calls, and one of them that's actually a video microphone that's placed in a different spot. So look that up, know where it is, and then make sure that your hand is not over it, or that when you set your device down to record you, it's not set down on the microphone. The last thing that we want to do is accidentally block the microphone and muffle the audio. If the audio gets muffled because of a blocked microphone, there's little to nothing we can do to improve that audio in post. You cannot take muffled audio and make it totally unmuffled. Moving on to the other audio tip, which is kind of a weird one, but disconnect your Bluetooth. I have personally had this one happen to me. If you use Bluetooth headphones or AirPods or Bluetooth speaker, any kind of Bluetooth audio device, just turn your phone's Bluetooth off. Because if you go to record a video or a voice memo or anything like that, and your phone is still connected to one of those devices, it will record the audio via that device. So say your phone was still connected to your AirPods and your AirPods are over in the next room. Well, the phone's not going to record the audio from like its internal microphone AirPods, it's gonna record audio on the AirPods. So then you'll get the video and you'll be like, well, where's the audio? And that was because it was recording from a Bluetooth device. To just turn off your Bluetooth, save yourself a world of pain. Truly, there is nothing worse than when you finally get a take that you like and then you go to look at it and the audio is messed up. So on to the next order of business, which is making sure your camera is stable. So right now, as I'm recording this video, my camera is up on a tripod. Now, while you really don't need a full-size tripod just for a phone or an iPad or something like that, you can use something like this. This is a GorillaPod. Let me just make one thing really clear right now. You do not need this GorillaPod. This is meant for DSLRs and larger cameras. You can get smaller ones for super cheap on Amazon, and again, like places like Five Below, the dollar store, it's a cheap solution. But with something like this is just what I have, so that's what I'm using for the sake of example. You can prop it up on any surface like a tripod, so kind of like this, or you can curl it around something and kind of mount it on something different, like a railing or something, I don't know, something that's not flat. But anyway, if you're looking for something that you just want a little tripod to just hold up your phone or hold up your device, one of these would be good. But even without something like that, you can kind of make tripods out of almost anything. You can prop your device up on a stack of books or on a shelf. And if you do have someone who's gonna hold the camera and record you, just have them lean onto something. Even just balancing your elbow onto something can give you a lot more leverage and will make the video a lot more steady. So moving right along, the next thing that you want to try to do, if this is possible, film in front of a blank background. I'm actually not doing that right now, as you can obviously tell, but what's in the background is not distracting. It's not distracting away from my face. And that is the last thing that we want in any kind of recording, especially one that you might submit for an audition, is something distracting away from you. So if you can, go in front of a blank wall or a curtain or something like that. But if you can't, or you're like me, where like the best available light source doesn't have a blank background behind it, just make sure you're not in front of something that is distracting. So now I want to talk a little bit about what to wear if you're going to record yourself. There aren't too many rules with this. I'm not about to give you a dress code here, but there are a few things to definitely avoid because they can look really weird on camera, or they can make the camera kind of go crazy. So first thing, avoid wearing anything with like a small, very intricate pattern. So take, for example, like a shirt that has really, really thin stripes. That will distort on camera. It's actually going to look a lot like one of those like hypnotism animations like you would see on cartoons. And along with that, to kind of tie it into our last point, it will distract away from your face, so avoid it. Try to avoid super bright neon colors like highlighter type colors, as well as really bright reds and greens. These are all for the same reason: it messes with the white balance. To put this simply, when the camera is recording you, if it sees a super bright color, it will by extension accidentally mess up the colors of kind of everything else around it because that super bright neon color is there. Aside from those couple little things, wear what you want. So now you've set up your camera, you've checked your lighting, you've checked your audio, and you've gotten a good take. After you get a usable take another one. In my own experience of recording other people, especially for pre-screen recordings and audition recordings, whenever we do just kind of like a whatever take after we get a usable take, that is almost always the best take that we get of whatever it is we're recording. Because now the pressure is off. You have a video you can use, so now you can just have fun. So now, after all is said and done, you might want to edit your video a little bit. The simplest thing you can do with this is just open up the video in your phone or your tablet and just trim the beginning and the end a little bit. Trim out the part where you turn on the camera and walk back to where you're going to stand, and then trim out the part where you walk back to the camera to turn it off. You also can use editing software on your computer to do some minor editing. You do not need any super expensive fancy editing software. There are some good free options of just simple editors that will get the job done. You could use iMovie on Mac or Windows Movie Maker on PC. Really all you need is something that you can kind of trim the video and maybe put a title on. Especially with videos of you performing, you really don't want to do any kind of excessive editing, anything too flashy. It's really not appropriate for a video like that, and also it distracts away from you, and we do not want to distract away from you. My last and final tip in what is probably kind of a long video, sorry, is that it is totally normal to feel kind of weird performing in front of a camera. On the surface, performing in front of a camera almost seems like it would be easier. You're not performing live, so if you mess up, you can just do it again and no one's watching you. You don't have an audience in front of you to feed off of. You're just kind of staring at this electronic thing. After you get in front of a camera over and over and over again, you will get used to it. You'll stop feeling as weird, but if you feel weird getting in front of a camera, it's totally normal. Thanks for watching. Please stay safe and keep making music.